Hi there, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Getting to Know Our Heavenly Family. I know you were expecting to see Father Romans this morning, but he's actually doing the television Mass for the Archdiocese. So, I am once again Regis O'Neill, subbing in for Father Romans this morning. Excited to talk to you guys about Saint Philip Neri today. Now, this is actually really funny because in my house there's been a movie playing recently about Philip Neri from Formed, and he's a really interesting saint whose name gets dropped a lot, but we might not know a ton about if we really dig deep into the details. So, let's get there. Saint Philip Neri was a priest who lived in Italy, and he's well known as a Counter-Reformationist. And what that means is essentially he's someone who fought very strongly to hold the church together during the period of the Protestant Reformation. This was back in the 1500s when obviously Martin Luther, German cleric, nailed his objections to the door of the church and splintered off, founding one of the now tens of thousands of Protestant denominations in protest to some of the abuses of the Catholic Church at the time. And this is something that Philip Neri was really, really strongly into, was rather than splintering off from the church, working from within the Catholic Church to reform and counter some of those abuses. He was known as an extremely strong confessor. He was really big into the sacrament of reconciliation, and he had this gift, much like St. Pio of Pietrelcina, Padre Pio, if you know him like that, of kind of piercing through things that people might be trying to hide, or kind of seeing through the facades that we sometimes throw up in confession, trying to avoid more difficult things, uncomfortable to talk about. But whereas Padre Pio would often call people out, and he was very much like, "You're hiding something, tell me about it." St. Philip Neri was reported to have a very gentle, almost joking way about him, where he would kind of tease you a little bit, but slowly draw out those deeper sins that maybe we're unwilling to talk about or afraid to talk about and bring to the Lord. He was very, very good at that. And he did this not only with lay people, but also with some of the influential figures within the church who were guilty of some of the abuses of the church at the time. A lot of financial abuses, the selling of indulgences, some corruption, etc., that kind of thing. So St. Philip Neri would go to these church leaders and he would hear their confessions and spiritually advise them and seek to kind of really get a faith of reality going within these men, not just a faith of rules or some kind of corrupt bureaucratical faith, rather a faith in Jesus Christ, a faith where it could be shared amongst the lay people and addressing some of those issues that the Protestant Reformation brought about. Saint Philip Neri is also very well known for the creation of something called the Oratory, which was a very charismatic religious community at the time. It was a group of lay people, actually, even before he was ordained a priest. He would meet with groups of lay people it's kind of like a fellowship group, almost a little bit like the youth group. They would talk about the faith, they would discuss things, they would sing hymns together. Sometimes they would have picnics and go and visit other churches. Sounds like a lot of fun to me. I don't know about you guys, but later, after he became ordained a priest, some of his followers actually became ordained priests themselves, and it started to become as much of a religious congregation as anything else. Eventually, this spread to other areas of the world, and in the 20th century, actually the first English-speaking branch of the Oratory was opened in England, interestingly enough. So St. Philip Neri lived this wonderful life of charismatic renewal, of being an incredible confessor, and he died as he lived. After a long day of hearing confessions, as a matter of fact, he suffered a stroke, and he died on the feast of Corpus Christi. So he died doing what he loved, which was hearing confessions and bringing souls closer to God. So, St. Philip Neri, incredible saint. There's a great movie about him on Formed, like I mentioned, that I've been kind of catching in my household. And I hope that you guys will go and learn some more about this incredible father of the church. So I thank you guys for watching another episode of Getting to Know Our Heavenly Family, and we look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place. God bless and be well.